surgical cricothyrotomy, which is performed by using a surgical incision to open the cricothyroid membrane. The second is a non-surgical cricothyrotomy, also called as a needle cricothyrotomy, where the puncture of the cricothyroid membrane is done using a needle or a needle-like device. The non-surgical or needle cricothyrotomy itself is divided into two kinds. The narrow bore cannula, which has an internal diameter of less than 4 millimeter of mercury. This is usually a cannula over a needle technique. It looks little like our Venflon set. Okay, there's a needle, there's a cannula on top of it. And then you have a wide bore cannula whose diameter is greater than 4 millimeter of mercury. These devices occur in two kinds. One is cannula over a trocar. That is also like a Venflon. The trocar, instead of looking like a needle, is much more thicker. Okay, that is called as a trocar over a cannula. Or you have a Seldinger technique, which is a guide wire. You put a guide wire, you put a dilator, and over that you put a tube. We'll have a look at those. Indications, you know, has been described. What are the contraindications for doing a cricothyrotomy? It should not be done in children less than 12 years. Why? Because they have smaller cricothyroid membrane and the immature larynx is funnel shaped, rostral, and is very, very compliant, therefore prone to huge damages. Therefore, in children less than 12 years, what should you do? You should do a needle cricothyrotomy or a tracheotomy. Although recently a cricothyrotomy set for infants called Quick Track Baby has been released. First things first, call for help. Any help is going to be useful to you. Oxygenate your patient with 100% oxygen. NoDSAT, which has been explained. If you have put an LMA inside and you are not able to intubate, cannot place the LMA properly, cannot oxygenate, what should you do to the LMA before you start a surgical airway? Don't waste your time removing the LMA. Let the LMA be there. Let your assistant continue to ventilate to the LMA whatever he can. You proceed to the surgical airway without wasting any more time in removing the LMA. Monitoring whether EtCO2 or oxygen, whatever is available, should be there. And you have to position your patient properly before you proceed to a surgical airway. Normally for intubation we use the sniffing position, ramped up position, and all those. Those do not provide optimal conditions to do a surgical airway. For a surgical airway, you need neck extension. And how is the neck extension achieved? You can do that by putting a sandbag in the interscapular region. You can see that the neck is now extended and actually you can see the landmarks well there. Or another technique has been described where the head is allowed to fall over the edge of the table. The table is broken down, head is allowed to fall down, and then the neck gets extended. These two techniques have been described to achieve neck extension. Whenever you cut into a trachea where air can come out and there's a little bit of bleeding, aerosolization of the patient's blood can occur. There is a possibility that the patient's blood might get onto you. Therefore, please use all protective mechanisms like cap, mask, and glasses when you're doing a surgical airway. Should you give airway blocks?